Gregor Mendel was a monk that lived from 1822 to 1884. As a monk, he worked in the gardens. In 1856, he started an experiment with pea plants that led to his discovery of 3 inheritance laws in 1865. These results were published in 1866 in a book called Experiments in Plant Hybridization, but were not fully believed until the 1900s. In this period of time lived Charles Darwin, who explained the theory of evolution. Mendel came up with 3 laws. First, the law of segregation. Second, the law of independent assortment. And third, the law of dominance. And this video will explain the law of dominance! In this video, we'll take the example of hair color, using brown hair as the dominant trait and blonde hair as the recessive trait.
What's dominant and recessive?
Well, for most characteristics, there are 2 possible alleles or versions of the gene. Mendel realized that if a dominant gene is present, conventionally represented by a capital letter, it will always mask the recessive allele, represented by a lowercase letter. The recessive trait might be passed to future generations, though, for example, grandchildren or great-grandchildren. So, for example, if a person receives a dominant brown hair allele from their dad and a recessive blonde hair allele from their mom, their phenotype will show brown hair, even though the genotype contains alleles for both hair colors.
What's genotype and phenotype?
The genotype are the alleles present in a person's DNA, while the phenotype is an evident trait, such as a hair color. Therefore, in any genotype with the brown hair allele, the phenotype will show brown hair. The only genotype that will show a blonde hair phenotype is the homozygous recessive, or small b.
What's homozygous?
When a genotype has the same alleles, it is called homozygous, which comes from the root homo, which means same. On the other hand, if someone has 2 alleles in their genotype, e.g. one for brown hair and one for blonde hair, it is called heterozygous. This comes from the root hetero, which means different. In conclusion, the 3rd law of Mendel says that since children inherit half of their genes from each of the parents, the phenotype they show depends on which gene predominates over the other gene. In practice, this means that recessive traits often skip 1 or more generations because they are present in the genotype but aren't manifested in the phenotype.